America Young is an American actress, director, writer, stunt performer, and producer. She invites you to join R.O.A. for an exclusive interview. Real rock and roll news. From the legends of rock, you found rockonamerica.live. We're bringing rock and roll to America and beyond. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
December 6, 1984, Santa Fe, New Mexico. A star was born, America Young. Not just an actress, Young is also a director. Her journey started in the world of acting, soon advancing to directing. Creating captivating narratives, her work in the industry is a reflection of her talent. So, who is America Young? She hails from New Mexico, but her journey took her to Hollywood. She embodies resilience, creativity, and passion. Her spirit matches that of her namesake country, always pushing boundaries and breaking new ground. We invite you to join Rock on America with Mark Lewis for an exclusive interview. Discover the woman behind the lens and the actress captivating audiences. Her story, a journey of a lifetime, is brought to you in 60 seconds. So, are you ready to rock on with America Young?
Hi, this is Mark with Rock Over America magazine, and today I'm going to be doing an interview with a young lady who is really making a name for herself in television and film, and there's a connection to a couple of other interviews I've already done with Gerard Marzilli and Tennyson Stead and Dan Haggerty. She's also one of the main characters in the movie project they're involved with that's going to be coming out in 2014 called Quantum Theory. Without further ado, is America Young. How are you doing, America?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Mark.
Well, thank you for taking the time to do this. I appreciate this because I know you're a very, very busy lady and you're going to be taking off here fairly shortly, too, so I appreciate you taking the time today.
Oh, no problem. And God, I hope you're right. That would be amazing.
Well, no, I think that your IMDb page is pretty interesting. People that don't know, they can go look at you at IMDb, and you've already done some good work so far, and I think that you're going to have a long future out of you, especially with what you've been telling me off the record that we're going to talk about. So let's go back in the beginning. When you were a kid growing up, who did you like as far as movie actors and actresses and things like that?
Growing up, I watched a lot of the older movies. That's the kind of stuff my dad had me watch. So, Katharine Hepburn, Audrey Hepburn, Jimmy Stewart, Errol Flynn. Those are the people that I wanted to be like when I grew up.
And what made you decide that you wanted to do this?
Well, I was actually on to becoming a doctor, and my father told me my father's a doctor, and he said, "Is this something you really want to do?" And I said, yeah, why not? That's what responsible people do, right? And he said, yeah, if you don't really want to be a doctor with all your heart, you're going to be an awful doctor. It's like, you need to find something that makes you happy and excites you and do that. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy and you're not going to be good at what you do. So he said, find what you love. And I said, well, I kind of always wanted to try this acting thing. And he said, all right, go ahead and try it. So I did, and I've been doing it ever since.
So, I mean, he wasn't shocked or anything, going, oh my God, an actor?
No, he wasn't. My mom was a little bit, but my dad wasn't.
What was your mom's reaction?
My mom was very loving and supportive, but her biggest concern is that it's such a unreliable lifestyle. You know, you never know when you're going to get another job. You never know how much that job is going to pay. You never know how long you're going to be working on that job or when the paycheck's going to come. And so she's really supportive of me going after what I want, but she is worried in a motherly way of me being able to take care of myself financially, which is a justified concern.
And I think you're doing better financially now, but I'm sure I have a feeling that you've done like the wages. It seems like everybody, that's kind of the joke is everybody that's an actor is a waiter or waitress.
Yeah, it's a great job if you're working your way up because it's such a flexible job, you know, and it's all kinds of hours. And so, yes, that's a typical job for people as being a bartender or a waiter or things like that.
So I think you've done that too.
I coffee shop. I used to work at a coffee shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, your IMDb, I mean, you've been getting a lot of work lately. But in a couple of your past projects, what are a couple of the things that you really like doing so far?
I like working on video games. I've worked on some really fun video games recently, and like Uncharted 2 and 3, Saints Row 3. I've worked on a bunch of Spider-Man games. I worked on a couple of games I'm not allowed to talk about yet.
When are those going to be coming out that they can look free and credits from those is probably?
Well, the ones I've listed are already out, and the one I can't talk about yet, I can't talk about it because they haven't even announced yet that they're doing it.
Okay.
But they should be announcing that, I would think, within the next couple of months.
Okay, will you have that on, and we'll give your Twitter later, will you have that on your Twitter feed?
Yeah, I will be bragging like crazy once it comes out on my Twitter feed.
Okay, now when you do the video games, do you do like the actress voiceover things, or what do you do when you do the video games?
Sometimes I do both. As a lot of the times it's just the motion of it. And then sometimes, there's certain characters that they piece together with a bunch of different people. So, for example, there's the trailers for The Old Republic, and I did the female Jedi in that. I did with the face and a lot of the motions and some of the fights, but then they had somebody who came in and did an incredible acrobat who did a lot of the flipping. So we were all pieced together, and then somebody else did the voice. So that one character actually was combined with at least 4 different people. But then there's characters that I do the voice for and the motion capture at the same time. I did a game called Ride to Hell, in which I played all the female characters, both voice and body. So that was definitely a challenge, but it was a really fun one. How
is that in relation to traditional acting, like if you're going to do TV or you're going to do a movie?
It's not the same because you have to really focus on what's going to differentiate them. You don't have costumes. You're always in the same suit. And obviously, they're going to put different skins on you and different hair, but you need to really focus on vocally how you can differentiate your voice, how you can make yourself older, younger, sexier, smarter, however it's the character, but then also physically. You really focus physically on how to change your body so that it comes across in the ones and zeros that they capture from the motion capture.
I hope this is not corny or cheesy, but I'm going to ask you to do this because I find this fascinating, because I used to play some video games a long time ago before I got wrapped up in the magazine, like some Need for Speed and some stuff like that. What is one of your favorite, and do you mind going into character just slightly to do one of your favorite video game characters?
Well, some of my favorite ones haven't been released yet, so I don't know if I did it in character, if it would be interesting or not, but I do voices for a cartoon called Monster High.
Oh, really? Who are you in that?
I play actually 4 characters on that show. I play Toralei, who's the bad guy. She's the werecat. And then she kind of sounds like a cat, hopefully. And then the other character I play is Halloween, which is one of the main character's younger sisters, and she's a werewolf, and she's based out of Brooklyn. And then Toralei's 2 sidekicks that are nonverbal, I do their voices, which is mainly their giggles and their growls and their meow sounds.
Can you do her voice for a second so everybody can hear this? People cannot clicking it in, because this is kind of neat that I get somebody to do that. Can you go into character for a second?
Yeah, sure. So, Toralei is down here. She's definitely more wow, and she talks, and she's snotty, and she's bored with this conversation. Whereas Halloween is more up here, and she's really hyper. She's more like a Rosie Fresh type, So that's the 2 main characters that I play in Monster High, and they're actually arch nemesis on the show.
How did you get into Monster High? How did that come across?
I had worked on a cartoon called Archie's Weird Mysteries, which is Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Jughead, but they're actually solving mysteries like Scooby-Doo.
Right.
And it's a Scooby-Doo meets X-Files because they're actually aliens and ghosts and everything. And the producer on that, her name is Marcia Goodman, was working on Monster High, so she brought me into audition for that, and that's how that happened.
And I'm going to assume, because I've seen some of the background for like Family Guy and American Dad and that, isn't this kind of really like going back to the old school, like old-time radio in a sense, where you get to act this stuff out and script it out?
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And that's, there's been times when we've recorded and the entire cast is in the room, like for Archie, the entire cast is in the room at the time, and some of Monster High, we get to record all together. And that's just so much fun, because we're playing off of each other, and the amount of talent in one room is incredible. A lot of the actors play 4, 5, 6 different characters at the same time, having a conversation with themselves. And so unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, I lost you there for a second. Can you say that over again? Something happened with the phone. Can you say that over again? That last part? Hang on one second. Okay, go ahead.
Is that, what I was saying is that there's, a lot of the actors on the shows usually play 4 or 5 different characters who have conversations with themselves. And you can't even tell whether it's the same person and they're switching back and forth having a conversation with themselves. So some of the people I work with are unbelievable. Like this one actress, Erica Lindbeck, she plays 5 different characters on Monster High, and they're all completely different. And I watch her do the voices, and I can't tell that they're the same person.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you know this because you grew up watching the older actors and actresses and stuff. I'm sure you know that, like a lot of the old TV shows, like Burns and Allen and Jack Benny and, what is it? The one that Jackie Gleason was on, and some of the different things, they were on radio first, and it translated in TV differently. How fun is that for you doing kind of that really, really old school style of acting? Because, I mean, that's about as far back as it really goes in the silent films.
I love it. When we would go on family trips, my dad would have us listen to The Shadow and, all the old time radio shows as well. So it's just the most fun.
Do some of the other actors and actresses realize they're carrying on that tradition and heritage when they do this as well?
I think most of them do. Some of them are actually part of a live stage show, which is like an old-time radio show. So I think a lot of them are aware of it. And everyone I've ever talked to that's voiceover just feels so blessed to be able to do it because there's no limitations except for your voice. You can play old, you can play young, you can play blonde, brunette. You can play anything you want, as long as it's within your voice realm. Whereas if you're on camera, you are limited. It is much harder to play a bunch of different types of roles. So it's all in your imagination.
If the sky was the limit, let me ask this question because I don't want anybody to hear this and go, oh, we're never going to give her an on-camera role again. That's not what I'm asking. But I mean, just for the pure fun of it, which at the end of the day sometimes is a lot more fun. Is it to do the voiceover work or is it to do the on-camera stuff? Because I know they're completely different.
It depends on my mood, Mark. Honestly, there's days where I just feel like being in a booth and keeping it all in my head and playing as much as I can. And there's times when I really want to be in front of the camera and be creating something that way. So I don't know, it's kind of a cop-out answer.
No.
It just depends on the day and the mood that you're in, the creative mood that you happen to be in at the time. Because both have their merits and both have their downfalls.
No, it's not a cop-out answer, and you gave a good answer because I also don't want anybody to hear this interview and go, oh, she really doesn't like being on camera. We'll never put her in front of her again because I would go back, oh, God, I ruined her career.
Well, I would come knocking on your door.
Yeah, great. It would be Sebring, what are we going to do tomorrow night? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Escape from America.
Try to take over the world.
No, we'd be escaping from America. It's going to kill us for ruining your career. So, you watched Pinky and the Brain, too. I have a story on that one later on.
Yeah,
not for on here, but and then Monster High is still going on, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and are you getting ready? Did you just wrap up production? Are you in production for the season, or is there another season that's coming up? How's that going?
Honestly, I don't know. We record so far in advance because of the animation. The animation takes a little bit of a while, so I'm not really sure where we are in terms of what we're recording and when it's coming out. But I really don't even know how to answer that question because I'm not really sure where we are. But we do have some other things coming up that we will be recording. So I guess we're not completely done with this session.
Okay. And has there been any other voiceover work that you want to mention you've done too that people should look for?
That's the main thing right now that I'm working on is that and then the video games that I've done. Okay.
And then, of course, like I said, we'll give your Twitter feed out so people can see the upcoming video games that are events that can be announced here in several weeks. Yeah, that's not a problem. We'll do that at the very end. We'll make everybody we'll hang them and make them wait so they have to listen to everything. You can tell that's old Alfred Hitchcock, too.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Fully approved.
So, anyway, because we're going to talk about some of the other projects coming up, a couple which people go to Twitter to look for, too. But Let's go into quantum theory. Who first contacted you about this?
Tennyson Stead did.
Okay, and how long, and did you work with him before?
No, I'd never worked with him before. We had some friends in common, so he had contacted me via Twitter, actually, to come in and audition. And the people that we had in common really spoke very highly of him. So I went in and I auditioned, and I had a really great experience auditioning. And then that's how I got the role.
Now, is that becoming a common thing for social media to get parts?
Via Facebook and Twitter, it's becoming, so because you can contact people in another way that doesn't involve their agents, and you have access to them in a way that you wouldn't normally. So I think that must be becoming more and more common. I'm pretty sure that they're not offering up like major parts in like the Avengers or anything via Twitter, but definitely for fun little videos or great independent films or web series, people are contacting talent via Twitter.
The first time you saw something like that, did it kind of take you back and go, what the heck is this? Or was it like, wow, this is really cool?
When somebody contacted me?
Yeah, for the first time, and you saw it like on Twitter or Facebook, where you're like, get out of here, this cannot be real, or did you go, wow, this is really cool, hey, I have a part. How did that come across on there? I'm always flattered until I find out what the project is, and then that might change my opinion. My first impulse is always, oh, that's cool, somebody wants to work with me. And then if I look it up and it's not appropriate for me to work on, then, that changes it. But it's still flattering, even if it's for an awful project, because it's still somebody who values you enough to seek you out and want to work with you. I want to ask you one question that's a little bit different, and I'm going to be real delicate with this. Is there any role that you're offered off of something like that, strictly the social media, that when you found out what it was, it's like, there's no way I'm doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a few.
Can you mention kind of what realm that was going into and being delicate about it?
Well, one of which was for an adult film.
Oh, God.
So that was the quickest no I think I've ever said. And some of them were just I didn't enjoy the scripts very much. I didn't like how they were written. I would look up some of the people involved, and I hadn't liked any of their previous work, or I would ask around about those people, and people that I trust said that they weren't, trustworthy. So those are the main things. In terms of descriptions of roles that I've received that I didn't think I was right for, usually they haven't been that bad.
Has there been something that, let me ask you one more, has there been a character role, for instance, outside the adult thing, but where you go, oh, there's no way I could ever play it, like they wanted you to do like a Captain Hepburn character, they wanted you to be like a Wookiee or something, you're like, oh, there's no way, or I'll be trapped into that forever?
I don't know, I think I'd be more than happy to play a Wookiee. But in terms of, the only way that I fear getting trapped into it forever is if it was a major big budget movie that everybody would see. On a lot of the smaller things, I don't think you have to worry about getting, typecast into them. But there's definitely been roles where people have sent me a description, and I've thought to myself, there's just no way that I would play that. Somebody sent me a description recently to play somebody in the early teens, and there's just no way that I could pass for 14.
Right.
And so there's things like that. Why don't you write back and say, thanks? But I'm telling you, you don't want me for this role. So and then there's obviously roles where it's been vice versa, where they're asking me for something that's much older than I am, or something that just physically doesn't fit me at all.
Okay. And so when you came into, we'll go back to quantum theory. When you came into that, what did you think about the project when you first heard the plot and storyline?
I really liked it. The Tennyson had sent me, kind of so much information about his intentions and his business methods and about the story, and I really appreciated that because it showed somebody who really put the thought in, somebody who really knew what he was talking about, and wasn't just some fly-by-night filmmaker who was like, I want to make a movie today. This is somebody who had been building this for a while, who had thought about it, plotted it out, knew what he was doing, and that really got my attention, because you have a lot of people who just decide one day that they want to make a movie, and they don't know what they're doing, and it's kind of a waste of your time. Even if they're talented, if they don't know what they're doing, it can really be a waste of your time, but Tennyson didn't come across like that at all. And so then he sent me the script, and I really liked it. The dialogue is really sharp and witty and fun, and I was laughing out loud, and that's really hard to do well. So then I was excited to to get to audition for it.
And you're in this with, if I get this wrong, I'm really in trouble here, Danielle K. Jones, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And I'm interviewing with her. We're doing an interview on Friday.
She's fabulous.
Yeah. So when you saw the role, I mean, I'm going to let you tell everybody what this is about, because I talked with Gerard about this and Tennyson about this, and then Dan Haggerty gave kind of like, you know, the perspective from doing the score. But I want you to, and I'm going to ask Danielle the same thing. For me, tell everybody what, in your own words, what the movie's about. And I know this is in production right now, and it's going to be coming out in about a little over a year and a half, because it just started. What's Quantum Theory about?
Quantum Theory is one of my favorite types of movies. It's a caper film, and it happens to be set in the setting of a scientific lab with scientists, but it's a caper film, and these two scientists, played by Danielle and myself, invent a technology that can literally change reality. It's, you know, it's a book, The Secret, only scientific. More scientific, it's not actually based in scientific. Danielle will be able to talk about the science in much more great detail, but it can change reality, and it gets stolen from them. So they need to find a way to steal it back.
Yeah, and Tennyson, I think it was Tennyson that said this, and it's going to be interesting when everybody does see it. If you can change reality, how could the machine have been stolen in the first place?
Right.
Yeah, and that's
what I love about movies like this, and things like even The Terminator, or anything with time travel or bending reality, is I love the discussions that ensue afterwards, and people going, wait, so what is this, and how did that happen, and then, you know, you spend hours figuring it out, and I think that this will be like that.
Did you, as the character, wonder, you know, how did this get stolen, you know, since we can change reality? Did you ever wonder that as the character?
A little bit. When I was reading the script, the way he has it happen, it changes reality right in front of you as you're reading the script, and you don't even know it happened. And that's what was so interesting to me also about the script, is I was reading along, thought I knew what was going on, and then the next page, completely different reality, and you're like, wait, did I skip pages? And you didn't, and you're going back, and then it all makes sense and ties in. So he does find a way to justify it. And to the audience, I think it's interesting, because the audience isn't clued in on it happening. They just kind of go along with the journey and don't realize it until it's already happened.
Now, I know that, you know, Tennyson gave a little bit about it. What are some of your favorite parts? What are some of your favorite parts of working with Danielle as far as the two characters? What do you like about the two main characters?
I love their banter back and forth because they're best friends. And the relationship that Tennyson has created in the dialogue is just so much fun. And they just, because they're between, you know, coming up with this amazing mind-bending technology and between them both being geniuses, they're both really goofy with each other. And they're constantly bickering. And I think that's just such a fun extra layer onto typical, you know, characters, you know. It's not dry, and it's not boring, and it's not self-important. And I think whenever you have people who are this smart, as Tennyson has written them, you run the risk of them being unrelatable. But by him adding this layer of banter back and forth between the two of them constantly, you just love them. And you love their relationship, and it makes what's going on between them mean that much more.
Who's the more sarcastic character?
She's more sarcastic, and I'm more goofy.
Okay. And where are you guys at in the production of this right now? I know when we had talked a couple weeks ago, it was just starting. How is that coming along right now?
It's coming along really well. We're gathering all our resources. We're preparing ourselves for the storm, the war that is production. We're fundraising, and I know we're taking meetings with investors. We have an Indiegogo page, actually, in which we're trying to fundraise. And it would be great if everyone checked that out and watched the videos. The video we really had fun with, because basically the video is just a bunch of people sitting around having a huge debate about time travel. That's the main point of the video. And there's still the fundraising aspect of it, but just to show how much fun we're having with the project and how ensconced we actually are in this world and these characters, you know.
And when are you guys looking at tentatively going into production? I think you said it was this winter?
Yes, that sounds about right.
Okay. And what else, before we go into the other projects you have, what else would you like to share about this so people can get really excited about this?
think the fact that it's just a very smart, well-written caper movie, it's a truly independent film, which you don't see very often anymore, but it'll be one that with the quality of a studio, and having seen my fellow actors act, I know that it'll be brilliantly performed, so I just think it's fun. I think that's the main aspect of it, is it's just a really fun, clever movie that will hopefully just, make people giggle and laugh.
Cool. And let's talk about a couple of those things you have, because I know that you've probably got a really, really hectic day, because I know, like you said, that you're flying out here shortly, too, in a day or so. So what are a couple, now let's do this first. What are there are a couple things, we'll still hang the Twitter up, but you're going to have a couple of things coming up. What should people be watching your Twitter page for? There's a couple, I'm trying to remember, it was TV programs, right?
Yeah, I have a couple of projects that are kind of in the works, and I'm just not allowed to talk about them yet.
Right.
But as soon as I'm allowed to, I will be tweeting, and that's the main place. Tweeting in my website.
But
I will be updating. I just don't update that as frequently. Like my website, I update like every couple of weeks. I go back and update it. But Twitter, I update pretty instantaneously.
And this is going to be for TV, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's a couple of other things that we're going to talk about, and then we'll wrap up. You're telling me about a couple of the projects that you're working on right now, the film project and that. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Well, the first one I'll talk about, actually, I don't think I even talked about it with you. It just occurred to me. I, with my two partners, executive produced a feature film last year called Girls, 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 and it's just made completely by women. And it actually has in it some pretty, it has Octavia Spencer, who just won the Oscar. It has just an amazing wealth of talent, Elaine Hendricks and French Stewart. And we finished it up, and it's hitting the festival circuit right now, and we're possibly going to be getting distribution for that, which is really exciting. But there's a website, it's Girls the Film, if you guys want to check it out and see who's involved. And that's been a really cool experience.
Can you give a little synopsis of that?
Yeah, it's a feature anthology of 6 short films that were all created, written, directed, shot, produced, and edited by women. And each short film is completely different. There's one that's a comedy, there's one that's kind of more of a thriller, there's one that's a drama, there's one that's like a satire. Each one is completely different. And we have just incredible people involved in it. And all the girls, since they've made these movies, have all gone off to do amazing things.
Nice.
So that's been really exciting.
Nice. And what festivals is it hitting, or is it getting ready to hit?
Well, actually, that's what I'm leaving for this weekend, which you just reminded me of. I'm going to Dallas International Film Festival, which is an incredible film festival, and we're so excited to be part of it. And I leave Thursday, and I'll be there in Dallas for the weekend. And we'll have 2 screenings of it, so if you guys are in Dallas, come check it out. And
are people able to come up and say hello to you as well down there?
Yeah, of course. Of course, and there'll be a Q&A after each screening, so any questions they have, if they want to come and say hi. So, yeah, please come on out.
Have you done one of these before, or is this going to be your first one?
My first film festival?
Yeah.
Or?
First film festival.
No, we've had a few of them. This particular film has been to a bunch of film festivals.
How do you like going to the film festivals overall?
Overall, I love it. Overall, I love it because it's the center of creativity and people who are supporting the arts. You know, whether you're a filmmaker and you have something in the festival, or you're just somebody who's taking a risk on independent film, it's a really cool, supportive environment. Some run better than others, some have more money than others, but overall, the purpose of the film festival is to celebrate independent filmmakers, so that's a pretty brilliant purpose.
Nice. And let's talk about the other 2 projects that we were talking about. I'm gonna let you introduce completely what they are and tell everybody what they are. These are the ones that we can't talk about.
Okay, great. The other one is a feature film that I'm going to be directing called The Concessionaires Must Die. And it's about a small single-screen independent theater that's about to be bought out by a huge mega, complex of movies. And this, band of nerdy theater workers who are trying desperately to save their theater. The cool thing about the movie is, and this is something that's never been done before, is we are live streaming the entire process. So every meeting we have, the casting, the auditions, the finding crews, or finding sponsors and money, the actual shooting, we were going to live stream it the entire time online, and we're going to be open to suggestions to people, because I make a lot of content for online, and one of the things without fail is I'll post a video, which I'm really, really proud of, and there's always somebody who's left a comment that says, oh, you know what should have happened is this, and I think to myself, damn it, they're right, that would have been better. So I was thinking that, within reason, we're going to open up the making of this movie to people, and we're going to say, look, we've narrowed it down to these two actors. Who do you think we should pick? We're going to say, you know what, this line isn't, as we're filming, this line isn't working. What's a better way of saying this line? What's a funnier joke? What's a better way of doing this? Every once in a while, we're going to turn to the audience and fully involve them.
Yeah, you have that one person, because when I post CD reviews on a certain website I'm going to leave out of here, or interviews or something like that, there's always this one or two people that no matter what you do, no matter how great it is, I could have resurrected Elvis from the dead and they're not happy about something if you had that person on there.
You always have trolls. Always, always, always. There's no internet without trolls, sadly. You just can't give them any power by acknowledging them, is the main thing. And the thing is, to be fair, some trolls have excellent points. By troll, I mean somebody who's just being negative for the sake of being negative. Yeah. But sometimes they have really good suggestions. So the idea, hopefully, is to encourage the good suggestions and discourage the negativity, because negativity doesn't really help anything. But since we've had 4 meetings so far live streaming, and we've already had over 140,000 people tune in to give us advice and suggest things and be part of the process, and we're hoping that number will just grow. And the website to find all the information about the movie and to find out how to watch what the schedule is for live streaming is themakingofcmd.blogspot.com. So CMD, concessionaires must die. themakingofcmd.blogspot.com. So that has all the information about the movie. We have the first 10 pages of the script posted. We have the breakdown of the characters, which we're casting for right now. If anyone listening who wants to be in it, you can submit yourself. So that's one of the projects I'm working on that I'm really excited about. And the other one that I'm working on is a web series called Damsels and Dragons. And it's a web series about LARPing, which is live action role playing, which is the people who play tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons, but they get dressed up like their character, whether they're a mage or a cleric or a warrior, and they go out into the woods and they act it out. So, like I had mentioned, some of the role models, there's some LARPing in there. And so the show is called Damsels and Dragons, and we're actually fundraising for it right now as well. And we've some incredible people attached to be part of it that I'm really excited about.
What gave you the idea? What gave you the idea for that?
Just the fact that I find this to be a fascinating culture. I've seen a documentary called Monster Camp.
Yeah.
And it was fascinating. It was just such an interesting thing because you have the people who are so extreme that they're using LARPing to never be part of this reality, but ultimately it seems like a group of people who have such a vibrant inner child that they are willing to dress up in costume and go play pretend like they did when they were 5 and 6. And there's a part of me that finds that fascinating. There's a part of me that envies that because that's got to be such a fun release to be able to escape that fully into your reality, And I just thought it would be such an interesting thing to do a show on, and there's lots of comedy opportunities there too.
And you said that it was surprising how many different walks of life people come from. That you would be surprised some of the people that get involved in this. Like, what walks of life do some of the people come from that are involved in that? We've been to some, conventions, and we have the Web Alliance has been working with us, and some of the coolest, you could have no idea that they would do this on the weekend. And we have musicians, and you have artists, and you have doctors and lawyers, and you just have a whole range of different people who enjoy this. And it's becoming more and more, I don't want to say common because there's nothing common about it, but it's more and more accepted. It's more and more people know more and more about it. I think 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was just such an extreme thing that people were made fun of for being part of it. But now that, as I said before, you could speak, I think that it's much more accepted, and not only accepted but embraced, and people want to try it out. And to
now when I tell people about LARPing, they go, oh, really, that sounds awesome, I want to try it. So definitely there's been a shift in the universe.
Have you thought about trying this? Or have you tried it at all while you were doing this? While you're working on this?
I have absolutely tried. I haven't tried it yet. I want to. It's on my agenda to try it.
And who are you going to be? What character do you want to play?
Well, my character in the show is the creature. So you have your people who are character roles. You know, if you're the mage, which is the wizard, or the cleric, which is the healer. You have those people, and then you've got their beast, their monster that they have to, you know, fight in the scenario, and that changes. It can be a stone golem, or it could be a dragon, or whatever. And so my character in the show is always the monster, whichever one it was. So I figure if I was, I'll probably do the same thing as my character in the show.
Nice. And where are you at with the stage with this as far as everything's going?
We're moving forward, and we're hoping to shoot, I think, in June, but I don't know if that'll work in terms of the schedules of the people we have. The good news about having people involved that are high profile is that you get to work with people that are incredible. The bad news is their schedules it's so hard to wrangle. So we're looking at shooting in June, but I'm not really sure if that'll work out for availability or not.
Okay, and now CMD, the other project, go ahead and let everybody know the background on it, because you're telling me, you know, because this is completely different. Can you just mind really quick sharing where the idea for that came from to let it be this interactive?
Yeah, sure. My producer, April Wade, had done a project called Killcam online, and the idea of the project is that, you know, there's a serial killer who's kidnapping people, and every week for 6 weeks, Monday through Wednesday, there was somebody who walked in a room, live streaming, and at some point in that 3 days, they were going to get killed. You just didn't know when or how. And so she did this project, it's called Killcam, and it got, you know, over 3 million views. And she and I were talking about it because it was such an incredible experience for her, and she loved the live aspect, and she loved being able to craft the story as they went, because as they're telling the story, you know, they planned for what they thought was going to happen, and the people are having all these incredible suggestions, and they're getting into it. To them, it feels like they're part of their own horror movie. They get to communicate with the person who's locked in the room. They just don't know where they are, and they're able to say, hey, you know, check under the mattress, or try the doorknob again, and the person will read that, get up and do it. So it's like being, you know, like a live-action video game, kind of.
Right.
Talk about what an amazing experience it was. And so I said, well, you know, but the one downside is that even if you're taping the footage that's live streaming, it's not the best quality movie footage, and to put it together a movie with that, it doesn't provide, you know, if you haven't part of the actual live stream experience, you don't have a movie to show at the end of it. So I had just suggested that maybe we live stream the making of the movie. That way we have people involved in the process. We have their great suggestions as we're going along. They feel like they're part of the process because they are, you know. But then at the end of the shoot, we have a movie that we've made. And we've made it well, and we've made it with a good camera. We've made it with multiple camera angles. We've made it with, you know, excellent acting. And so she teamed up with me on that, and she's been making that happen. And she's kind of the go-to person now for live streaming. And we're working very closely with Stickam, and they've been great. They've been featuring us on their front page, and so that's kind of the background of that. And it's, you know, it's interesting because when you tell people in the industry that we're doing it, some people think it's brilliant, and some people think it's awful. And the reason why I think it's awful, and this I have to agree with them, is that a lot of filmmaking is really boring. There's a lot of sitting and waiting. There's a lot of tedium. There's a lot of doing the same scene 30 times from 20 different angles. And a lot of it is embarrassing because no matter how much you plan, no matter how big your budget is, something always falls through. There's always somebody who didn't show up. There's always a location that's got the wrong day or equipment that, you know, isn't working. And so if we're live streaming it, then everyone will see mistakes that happen. And, you know, it's hard for your ego to admit to people that you messed up. It's hard enough when you're admitting to people on your crew, but when you're admitting it to, you know, 100,000 people who happen to be watching at the time, it's truly reality, I guess is my point. It is true reality. There's no fabrication. There's no editing. There's nothing. And so for that reason, it might be very boring, but hopefully it's not.
Well, that's like this interview, because all my interviews are completely unedited. When we're done, I'll tell you, if you got time, I'll tell you one really quick funny story that I've related before, but I don't want to bore anybody with it. But I actually have that on audio. What you're talking about.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Everything that we... this is going to be completely unedited as we run it right now, so it's going to be completely uploaded later today as we've done it right now. So if I screw it up, it's in there.
If I screwed up, it's in there.
That's true, too. So, and I wanted to mention one more thing, and this is why I think that you're going to have a very, very bright career, a bright, long career ahead of you. You had told me that this has not, because I asked you, and you said this has never been done before. So, I mean, really, you were doing something very groundbreaking. Because, I mean, you can rent a video or buy a movie or go on like HBO or whatever and see the behind-the-scenes thing. But, I mean, this is, and that's the point of it. That's what I want people to get about you. You're very young, you're very bright, and you have this very, very, I think, long future ahead of you, because it's that creativity and thinking out of the box and being on the edge that's going to be a game changer, and I think that's also going to propel your career very, very long.
Thank you very much, Mark. I really appreciate that.
No, it's also true, though. Because it's really a cool idea. And let me ask you one more question. Has anybody been really, really surprised, like, wow, that's a great idea, why didn't I think of it?
Yeah, there's been a few people who have.
Okay. Now, let's do this. We made everybody wait all this time for what is your Facebook and what is your Twitter so everybody can keep up with you.
My Twitter is @America_Young, YOUNG. So there's America Young, but that's not me. I'm America_Young. And Facebook, I'm not really, I'm on it, but not really, so that's not the best way to reach me. I do have a fan page in Facebook, which I try to update, but I'm not good at it. So good at updating, I'm not regular at it. So Twitter's the best way, and then or my website, which is just americayoung.com. But that again has a delayed update because I usually have to take a moment to do it, and I never have a moment.
Oh, I'll give you when we're off of here. I'll give you a trick on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
It's just like Twitter. It'll be real easy for you.
Oh, it links the two, right?
Oh, well, I'll tell you about that in a second because there's another deal on there though too. But I'll tell you when we're done here. And go ahead and give your website again.
My website is americayoung.com.
Okay. And I take it the Facebook and the Twitter and everything's tied in there too.
Yeah, everything is linked. That's basically the best place to go because everything, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, my stunt stuff, everything is on that website.
Okay. And then that's going to have your appearances and everything for this weekend too on there?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And then, well, I want to say thank you first of all to you. We're not done yet. We're almost done here. And when you're done, can you hang on the phone for a second?
Of course.
I want to say thanks, first of all, to Gerard Marzilli and Tennyson Stead. And Gerard's been absolutely monumental in helping with everything. That guy went so far above and beyond. Just like a lot of the music industry people I work with that do PR and work at the labels and things like that to help me out, set me up. He was just amazing. And if it wasn't for all parties involved, we wouldn't be doing this interview, and I wouldn't be doing the one with Danielle, so I want to thank them. And I also want to say a big thank you to you, because like I said, I know you're getting ready to get out of here to go to Dallas, but you were very, very sweet and kind to take some time out to talk about this, and I really, really appreciate this.
Are you kidding? I'm flattered that you wanted to, so thank you. And because of Gerard and Tennyson, but it's those guys that I want to be part of this project, because of people like that, because it's very special.
Well, I think it was an important enough project to get involved in and tell people about. It's been an absolute thrill for me because too, this is a little bit outside the realm of what we do overall. Though we do some entertainment, movie reviews and things like that for the magazine's music. So this has been kind of a nice little different going in a new venture. So, and they've been so kind with everything, which I'll tell you off the phone. But anyways, the way I like to end this is. And there's no right or wrong on this. Anything that you'd like to say to anybody without me leading it or guiding it, and I've had usually people say, I love you to family and friends. I've had a couple people get very prophetic with words of wisdom, and it's a lot of times I'd like to say thank you to this person, that person. So, America, without further ado, take us out of here.
to Gerard and Tennyson, and good luck to Danielle, and thank you to Mark for having me on.
And do you want to say anything to the fans of Monster High or any of the other projects or anything? You can do that too if you like.
I want to say you guys rock. I have never had such great fans as the fans from Monster High. When you guys tweet at me, it makes my day, so keep it up, please. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm going to say interview.